thought I would talk a little bit about how this week has been going, because I've had my almost finished first week of internship, and I thought I would reflect. The first day I had to do a project because about half a year ago I made a radio segment. I don't know what it's called but in English, but I had to do a follow-up this time, like how has it been the past 5 months, and has anything changed since the last news that I produced. And that has taken me 3 whole days because it's so difficult to get in contact with policemen and people who bring out the statistics and people who are willing to comment on the statistics and people who are affected by the news and blah blah blah. I'm almost finished. I just have to polish small details tomorrow. But yeah, the first day I had to call so many people that told me, call this person, no, call this person, and then that person. And so I went around in circles. And then in the end, I came back to square one. Great. But that's what I did the first day. The second day, I called people up again and booked some interviews for the next day. I also went out to some restaurants and cafes in the city to ask about their opinions about the subject that I was doing the news about. So I went to more than 10 restaurants and cafes total, and three of the owners or the assistants or the workers, they told me that they were fine by helping and by being recorded. So I recorded them, and then I went back to my internship. Yeah, later that day, I don't remember exactly, but I think I continued calling around, and also I am preparing for some other news. So I'm preparing who to call, what to ask. So the third day, I had some interviews, 2 interviews, one with a policeman and one with the head of a workplace, something like that. So I called them. I also called another policeman that I called the day before, and he told me the day before that he was on vacation for 2 weeks, and he told me to contact another person. But since I called so many people, I forgot and called him again the next day. And that was an unprofessional mistake on my behalf, and I tried to apologize. He didn't take that so kindly, and he got a bit triggered. He didn't say anything bad, but he was like questioning my position as a journalist, which I totally understand because that was unprofessional of me. But that made me a little bit sad. I felt down. But then after taking lunch and trying to calm down and start again, try to push through, I had my interviews and I edited all the segments and put them together, and sent it in to my mentor. And then when I came home, I still felt sad and down and low energy. And also the days are so long because my place of internship is almost 2 hours by train and bus away from me. So 2 hours there and a total of 7-8 hours in the workplace, and then 2 hours back home. So that's a long day. It was tiring, so I had to relax today, just breathe out, just refresh and restart to start anew tomorrow, and hopefully push through the day and do my best. I don't know really what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I polished the small details from yesterday that I had to do with the radio segment, and I guess continue to call some people for my next news, and we'll see. Maybe I'm gonna get some assignments tomorrow from my mentor or from the colleagues. So, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And then I have another week of internship next week. And I'm gonna update you on how that goes. Wish me luck. Hold tummarna, hold the thumbs. I thought I would update you real quick about something really fun that happened. I just got to know that my feature that I made a couple of days ago, it got 11,000 listeners. That is crazy. And it was the most listened to feature in the whole week. What? It feels amazing. So crazy. It feels like a reward that I've struggled so much with it, and it paid off. So feeling good, feeling great. So I just took a coffee latte and thought, yeah, I would drink that if they have sugar, because I really, really hate the taste of coffee. But then I poured myself a cup. Here it is. And I don't know what to do with it because I couldn't find any sugar. And now I can't drink it, and I don't want to waste it. So I don't know what to do. I'm on my way to an interview, gonna talk to a, what is it called, principal, and some students, and wish me luck. It's too bad because I couldn't talk to any students. The principal said that he tried to get a hold of them, but it's a hectic week now because they are finishing school now and they have to wrap things up. But so that was kind of sad that I didn't get to talk to them, because I had such an idea for the feature and what I wanted to do. It was, in my head, it was so fun that I would ask the students to sing the song that students usually sing when the school ends, or at least those that finish high school, and also ask them about how they're feeling, but it didn't happen, so that was sad. I found this little cute street when walking, and it was too beautiful to miss, because look, it's a narrow sidewalk with flowers on both sides and greens, and so beautiful. It looks like an old town, kind of. I've now completed 2 weeks of internship. Yay! I thought I would celebrate with an almost finished iced chai with coconut milk and a totally squished carrot cake. It's all about the taste, and I'm happy that I made it through these 2 weeks, and I've learned so much, and I've been craving these for a couple of days now. I thought I would talk about 3 things that I've learned at my internship. I noticed in this sequence that I used a lot of you should and you shouldn't, but I never meant it as an advice. This is only my experience and what I've learned. So I just wanted to put out a disclaimer that every workplace has their own terms and rules and routines. So this is only what I've learned and not as advice for others. The first thing is to work fast. If you get the response to edit something, you go directly and do it. So it's best to take it in and work and get into that habit quickly so that everything should run smoothly. The second thing is to talk with power. You know, that was something that was difficult for me because I am someone who likes to take my time and think while I'm speaking and take it slow. And sometimes I just don't speak with all my chest. It's on the radio. It's gonna be quick. You have to catch people as soon as possible. That was very difficult for me because that's not my nature. I understand when you have a time limitation, then of course you have to be quick and forceful and powerful. Number 3 is to separate between your personal self and your professional self, because as the voice and the power, that wasn't me, Lena, but that was the journalist, Lena. I heard something from a mentor that I had a couple of months ago, and I spoke to her a bit this time and told her about my internship and what I was going through, and she gave me a very helpful tip that in your personal self, one example is that in your personal self, you wouldn't call someone 20 times just to make sure something is right or just to get a hold of them. You wouldn't do that, probably, if that's your personality. But as a journalist self, you have to be pushing and forward and sometimes irritating, because if you're not, then that means you're not getting the work done. So it was very interesting to get that comparison or that example, because that gave perspective of who you are in private, or who I am in private, versus who I should be as a professional self. So those are the 3 things that I've learned during my internship, and I've learned a lot more, of course, but those are the ones that made the largest impact, and I really, really appreciated my time there, and I felt more and more comfortable being in the shoes of a journalist, because I'm a kind of a shy person, but it felt more and more natural, not comfortable entirely, but I was beginning to warm up to it during these 2 weeks. I'm not totally there, but on the way. So that was very helpful, and that was very helpful to know that I can get into the role of a journalist if I want to, if I work hard for it. So those are my 2 weeks of internship. I hope you've enjoyed following along and seeing what I've learned, what I've done, what I've seen, what I've everything, and I hope I see you next time. Bye!